Hello. Hello. Hope everyone is having a good time. If there is some. Today is Monday, and the word of the week is voice. The second week of the month is within, and it's the 6th of March of 2023. I hope you enjoyed your day. I woke up with an Asian old lady dancing. I put on a loop. I'm not going to talk about politics or anyone's interests. So my interest is to sell the rules of role play, virtual reality, and for human interaction in real life. So I've been talking about it for 2 years and 4 months. Then I just talk random. Sometimes I just talk as much bullshit there can be, because I am not giving my work away, so there is nothing there that I'm talking about, really. I wish I was I wish my voice was heard in order to function and in order to recreate, but since the work of all my life is being suspended, so this is the present. This is how things are right now. I joke a lot. I bring interpretations. I bring a lot of characters at play, exaggerate. I have studied for all this and work with it as well. Not that I'm a professional as a musician or an actor or a director or a scriptwriter or a therapist or a scientist or a dancer. Some people think I am. Certain things I'm not. So I know a little bit of. I know this of Greek philosophy. When you're talking about Greek philosophy, you cannot bring certain characters that belong to other realms. So I cannot bring Jesus. The closest I could bring about Jesus in Greek philosophy is when the Oracle of Delphi had talked about the coming of the Messias. I could talk about religion. I think that religion is also ego. Any religion, and they get stuck in the knowledge, and they keep selling their own their own beliefs because they belong to their school, and thus there is the system that feeds them, and those are the rules and patterns they follow, and that is a construct. So is every verse. Every verse. I mean, they can call it Spider Multiverse or Greg's Multiverse, but it is a verse, which is quite interesting. So sometimes I say that if I would be anything, I would be the goddess of fantasy, but jokingly, because even even on that, you would have to you will have to you have to be very realistic. These lamps are flashing in the in the lens. Well, there it goes. So yeah, what's that? So that is the tissue of reality. You cannot mix things. You can do it if you want, if you make your own universe. And you have another universe where you can just uh, we had these stories and problems going on and on. Some verses can mix the Lord of the Rings and some characters with, for example, Hogwarts, because but they cannot just enter just like that. They still belong to the realms. They have some by nature. You'll see how these characters act because they have their own information. They have their own entity of being, and that entity of being is its own intelligence, its own information, its own construct. So these are laws that are not part of the laws of role play, but you would find it just by role playing. I can share a lot. Um, it would be nice to it would be nice to eat well and not struggle about what I'm gonna eat, because I have invested everything on this. I haven't had anyone supporting me as the priests have, or anyone who has mommy and daddy who supports them, and a school, a university to support them, because you're a follower. Yeah. So everyone loves to have followers. Like my mother say, everybody wants to be a therapist. Nobody wants to be an organizer. Everybody wants to be a superstar therapist, but nobody wants to be an organizer. So it takes a lot of work, right? It takes a lot of work. It's not just like that. You might have dozens of people competing with you to be a therapist, and the best therapists of the world competing to have those very little few organizers, which are more treasured because you need more organizers. But everybody wants to be a star, everybody wants to be supported. Yeah, but we lack people to support. We lack organizers. We lack those mediators, role players. It's a different trend where people can learn to not just bring their inner voice, but get within the voice of that, as to be in the shoe of another. Is I follow my voice as a storytelling. I could just go on and on and on. And there are negotiations within and with the other. I don't know, but I imagine when they were making the Bible and putting all these pieces together, they came with the Jews and they had a negotiation. Yeah, Jesus had lived all this already, and they say, okay, but keep the revelations in the end. All right, put Jesus there, but keep the revelations in the end. As many people believe that, even though the Jews, by convenience, put the first and the second testament together, there was a business there. There were voices talking about it. There were ideas within the storyline of all these thousands of people's life who had chosen these stories to be put together in a book called the Bible. So they negotiated and they say, well, fine. We'll keep the we will keep the last part, as you said. In that moment, they said that they're still waiting for the Messiah to come, right? Is the end. So it is the end and the beginning. And they had honor, a little bit of Greek mythology there, with Hades. They could have called it death. They changed the names, but Aurora is Eos. So all this. So for some people who are on those levels, because you have to understand that you can say some people need the Bible, the Quran, to be educated, to have their families, to have this understanding, to know such things. You can achieve power in order to take care of the cattle, of the people, of many, of instruments to create. And still there is something beyond the hill. So you might walk through Jesus and enter heaven. And the Christians will say, only through Jesus, if you do not talk about the Lord. So you have to talk about Jesus and about the old storyline. But the thing is that once you say, okay, now I'm in heaven, now what? Yes, I'm going to keep talking about these things. Like, what's the deal? So it's kind of like an inner voice there, and you're all it's in the top of the hill, the mountain. Is an scenic point of view as to say that you got somewhere and say, aha, yeah, right, this is it, this is heaven, man. We can talk with each other and please each other without having to go through so much complex rejections and tyranny. Oh, well, yeah, this war is still going on. I guess we haven't done so good. Can talk about other things and think this war exists, even though I have seen and I have children. All right. So an enlightened person wouldn't speak like that, not a priest. Or a politician. But maybe a creative, and just trying to get a story together. Yeah, like uh, you got someone to tell the story. Maybe somebody goes there and is gonna tell. Just is gonna follow the line, and it's not gonna say what I said, but it's going to make its story based on what I said. What does it mean? That is moving on and creating this new story, because we have these new tools, we have these new problems, we have many people who need to multiply these tools as well. We can organize these rights for people to have these basic needs and to not forget the spiritual from the material. So the material from the spiritual. I tell many people that work in therapy, I say, just give people their rights. They don't need therapy. They don't need therapy. Just you and God, and just love. That's it. There are no problems really. So the most of these problems, then you have problems, but they are just because of pretense. That's another category of problems. Yeah. So there are other rules there. Ones are survival, another pretense, just to keep the show, because they live with the illusion. They're always marketing, and doing parties to get more energy, more votes, more followers, more attraction, more to deliver. But we're entering into fields right now where we can achieve much more performance, right? Without having to perform so much. For instance, the tendencies are going to go faster and faster, and to cover what people need, and visualize which are the main tools that people need. For example, to create job, right? To create the main needs. So we do need spirituality. I was born Catholic, apostolic. I just learned because I got this very good channel of Catholics, and that's there are things that I don't understand, and then I was like, yeah, that's true. That's why I enter here in church, and I didn't know. Of course I know. I just do it. We Catholic apostolics, we bow when we enter the church. We make a bow to the Lord, and yeah, and it's a very beautiful feeling. It's a very beautiful feeling. It feels uncomfortable. So no, I was not gonna bow to you. Look, I don't even know who you are. I don't know. I don't see anyone there. So, be nice to talk with people. That's for sure. I don't want to be an influencer or a YouTuber. Gosh, I'm not very good at it. Really, I'm not interested. Because this is the cable. It's just annoying below my feet, and I like to touch the ground, and I like to touch sometimes, just play with my feet and move. So when we sing in opera on the chorus, they ask us to be very straight so the thorax can. So you have instrument within your organs that play the breathing and the sounds. It's very beautiful to sing. Of course, if you're in a church or in certain places, it's just can make you feel higher, and with people as well, it multiplies, right? Not to say that just your sound is good enough. Your sound is resounding with you, and that is good enough. It's good enough to enjoy that. So, how could you give power to people that are traumatized in war to end this war? How can you give the power of the voice to a person who never had democracy, who has a country that has been always corrupted, with people that are not within the capacity to voice out for their own peace of mind, tranquility? Yeah. So the same happens to Ukrainians and Russians right now. Yeah. I will ask Putin to please understand that we are moving forward and we need this war to stop. Of course, he wants the land that he has taken. There you go. He wants the land that he has taken. What can you do? What can you do? Give the power to Zelensky to be the center of attention of the world, and you are gonna be like his mommy and daddy and talk about it. And yeah, look at that. Just I don't know what people will listen to me, anyways. Of course, I can look glamorous, classy. So, anyways, just when I cut my hair, I have a cowlick. So the hair goes, it's always up. Half of it is a cowlick. I guess this part too. So, well, does it really matter? Imagine making a better world. So, making a better world, you need your mind to be straight, right? Look at that. You really need your mind to be straight. I mean, once you have seen this, you cannot unsee it, right? Look at that. Straw is terrible. So, well, I'm just here on my own, being hacked. So, deal with it. That's it. Have to deal with it too. I like looking at the news. Um, that is matte clay, which is smells very nice. It's not glossy. So mm, I am glad they have make a Good Friday deal. Um, I don't even know what is about it. Uh, you have to trust. I wanted to say that to trust in those doing their work. It's not easy for them, right? Oh, look at that. It's never gonna be perfect, would it? These hairs are like my creative ideas need to come out. Well, I was not prepared today. It is Monday, the start of a new week. Um, all I knew is that I have nothing to say but that. So it is nice to have a voice and to feel the sounds of the other one's voice And what is beautiful is to be part of an orchestra. Um, when I was little, and there was a competition for a painting to make on the cover of a music in the School of the Prince in Madrid. I did a director of classical music, and you will see his back with the batuta. And in the front of him, he had a very wild ocean. And I painted it with oil. Um, so he was like, well, I made a ruler with this, but he was like, and with his long, and he had the ocean. A beautiful life with the waves of the sea. And I've been in the water of the Mediterranean Sea in India as well for hours, like playing with the waves. Just playing with the waves for hours, getting lost in the water. It's very nice. And sometimes I would relate with the water. I would be one with the ocean, really. And I would spunk and talk with the water, with the ocean. And I was not afraid of it. Because I would swim until I wouldn't see the earth, more or less, just to know that it was that there. So, because you can go in the middle and be disorientated. So, if you get tired, you can just float. So, I don't know if it is true or not, but when I would ask the waves to get wilder, they would get wilder, and I would spunk them. And be one with them, of course, with the uh, playfulness of the sea, and love to play with my friends, with the waves as well, for hours and hours in India, in the swimming pool in Madrid. You don't have waves in the swimming pool. And one time I couldn't return. Then I was afraid. I had really seen death and the greatness, the great power of the sea. It was greater than me. It could take me. And I had to swim on the same place for forever. It was sucking me out. So I just concentrated, no matter what, in being part of that rage. Like I am with you. Swimming above you and with you. I was 17. So when I was 17, something happened to me when I came from India, because my master Osho have died, and there was a lot of energy going on, and I would dance a lot. Would sleep 4 hours. I would sleep 4 hours 2 times a week, and I was under no influence of drugs or alcohol because I just like to dance. And I would rest in the beach. So there was so much energy, I remember. I was in a state of silence, and to talk wa- was like coming down. So I would tell to people why would they lie if I know. So as I said, you don't have to lie to me. You are lying to yourself. So I couldn't talk with people because I could see very clearly everything. Um, I would wear these glasses, but they were like mirrors, like a mosquito. So people wouldn't look in my eyes and I wouldn't get distracted. Mm. So I could keep walking without having to feel anyone's interference. So let's say that maybe my mind could think too much. Um, those are the years where you are so alive, so alive. So enlightenment has been um, beautiful journey to understand whether you are or not. That's not a point here to say who it is, who's not, or who was. All right. What's this word? Terrible. So well, wish Zelinsky. That's his name, right? Oh. To think about peace and to think about being democratic and to think about how is he going to talk with the within the old times they would send a herald to talk and do mediations. Nowadays those things don't happen because we are having other forms of communication. So with these communications also are other involvements such as the ego, promoting oneself in politics, uh, getting to sell more weapons. And what else could you sell that is better? Everybody gets their own convenience. So, and the voice of the people are not very functional, as was to say there is, unless you disconnect. So this is the great disconnect right now. If there is communication where is reciprocal, mm, without disassociations, right? Because I have a lot of things that I like to do in my private life. This is not what I like to talk about, but it is needed to pray. The There could be other players that could come in. I do have a very good list of people who are internationally renowned therapists. They can help behind the scenes in the private to create uh, an understanding through movements without talking. There are steps, little steps. So, and to bring that space to talk, and there are just three words or few, but most is just the movement and what it feels. So there is too much pain to there is been given too much weapons and power to, and we could all have a beautiful summer, we could all progress with so many things. So I like to look at the news, and because I have internet, so I am thinking, because my life is a source of power for my own, for everything that constitutes myself, which is my family and my work. So I will have to disconnect totally from this. And the spiritual people are going to disconnect, and many people are going to disconnect. And if you have to just post or go into other places, so, and to move away also from technology, to not have any viruses or nothing of your information. For example, I don't like to be asked if I'm transgender, or to have publicity from women because they know I'm a woman, or and like the algorithms are not what I like. I don't like all these cookies as well. This is all an invasion of, and they're just it's like another form of that has nothing to do with what this world really needs, because you don't need that to do marketing and make money. If you really come to terms, is to say, what are we really doing? Are we I'm investing all my life on this, and then this, and then that, and then that? Publicity, of course, is very important. Marketing. So for other people, you are not going to a Jedi or a Sith to do publicity. You cannot ask certain actors to play certain roles because it doesn't fit the character, right? It doesn't have the volume. It doesn't have. Some others would have the channel to. It might not have the content, but it has a channel. So, um, for some reason, God hasn't made us all perfect. God has made us in a way where we can need each other. Unfortunately, is is kind of like the biological thing here in this planet. So maybe also in the universe, I don't know, in this galaxy with a beautiful sun. So we need to believe in something that is beyond our nose. There is something greater. That moment is makes you greater when you disappear in it. If you are swimming with all your you can suddenly sense the power of the ocean because your life depends on it, and only. Wow, I have nothing to do. So have a good day. And when you tune in, what are you doing to make more money? To make publicity? To your sell marketing, your own system of belief? So of course, I'm not telling to people who belong to the Catholic realm or the Christian realm to write the third part of the Bible because they will have schizophrenia about it unconsciously, even if they have the best studyable speech, because they have been indoctrinated in order to reject any other outer source, which could be the present. So it is good to note down. It is good to note down that everything is in translation from science, spirituality, to storytelling, to matters, to materials. Everything has a translation, not just from one language to another, but also from class to class. And that was something Einstein. So this is when you're starting to reach a universal understanding. It's not just cultural. Yeah, I mean you don't have to be super good at math, but getting an orbit around all these characteristics, from language to that sound to that emotion to these colors to these patterns to this movement. So as infinite it can be, this interplay, there is a translation. So it's easier for a script writer, because the script writer and the director have to know what script writing is and what is directing. They have to know everything about the seven arts that are in the movie and more, a basic of everything. Yeah, and then each professional will do with that, which is not just writing in three words, but in the in the technical script is writing with just there was an application for the iPhone, but it's not there anymore, of the dictionary for technical script writing and all its minimized words. It has a name. So each professional will expand to it because they understand the movement. They understand what the actor already knows what is going to act. The scriptwriter doesn't tell the actor what to do unless is walking out, so things like that are just everything is resumed, and the actor knows what to do. By feeling, he already knows. He's Nobody's telling him move the eyebrow. Then the actor knows. Um, the sounds, the light. So there is a science to it. There is density in the air as well. Could be depicted by the colors in the scenario and the environment that is created to create this field. So from within you already know the voice of this play. It might take for me 8 hours. I don't even know what is the story, like with my reasonable mind, but I know the inside of the story because I'm part of the role play which is not my story, is with many others. Yeah. So there is a global story, and there is all these parts. So we can ask a violin to play as a piano. Yeah, things like that. Cannot ask certain things to play certain sounds. But they can all share uh, with their instruments. I want like Russia or Ukraine to have more death and destruction, or to earn more money to USA and NATO that already owns, because it's not giving for free. They're going to have to pay for 80 years to a century. They're going to have to work to recover all that and and pay back from the production. So cutting Russia away is harming to the what the world needs to evolve together. So the white world has this program of destroying others. They learned that from the Empire of Rome and other empires in the past, which used to do the same. So yeah, just lower the price of the others, diminish everyone, and keep fighting as if you are the best, and keep taking over. That's pretty. Welcome to the white trash world. Now you're one of us. Supreme. So as we are transitioning from now transitioning doesn't sound cool. From these energies, we can talk about energy and power. And we can understand that there are important people that can play these roles. And there can be also occult people who nobody knows. I don't mean that they belong from the occult and the dark arts, but they do belong from therapy realms, and they also were coaching in many big entities of work. Nobody knows this, but they do. So they used to work for the petros of Venezuela, so people can work better together. Um, the relations between industries, they do certain plays as well before, just to understand because sometimes there are traumas. Yeah, sometimes there are problems, not just from an individual, but from entities that have carried this form of being. It could be a sickness. Yeah, a sickness is also a form of being. So that is might be acceptable. Um, how much power we can have? And for what? So it's not a big deal. What is your voice for anyway? If you're speaking and nobody hears you for what you really want to say, because you cannot say it. So well, can say anything, but my work could have so much music in this world to be creative with. It's been 10 years of the death of Chavez, Hugo Chavez Frias. Uh, um, I'm not particularly. I don't like what happened in my country, Venezuela, for many reasons. I love Venezuela. I love Venezuela. No person that has two eyes could say that what happened in Venezuela. So any person putting into the presidency of Venezuela would have this type of problems in a country where people don't know how to talk. They need to learn about values. The highest educated class uh, was in Russia, was in danger. But at the same time, there was much hatred and fear from high class, middle class, and people who didn't have nothing as well. And plus all these guns that the CIA brought in so people can kill others, take over. So they were very smart to know that the low class of Venezuela would do that. But we never had the murders that Colombia used to. I don't know if they still have so much murders, but Venezuela never had those ratings before. This happens in many places in the world, thanks to the United States as well. So the country has been very rich with petrol and independent, not hurting anyone. The people don't like you is their choice. Yeah, they don't like gringos. They like South America to love itself and not have such a low self-esteem. Thinking that Europe or America is better. So that was there was an investment there. All this, I wish to I wish to recover the writings of my father. So when I think that, my God, like really, it was my father. It was not. It was not him. It was the son of teachers. But still, it's been a movement, and what can you do? You know, what can you do? Is hatred really needed from any side? Freedom of expression killed my country as well. Freedom of expression is not the voice within. People need to meditate and throw their stuck emotions and thoughts, and then come to clarity. The gym doesn't provide that because there is no transformation and insight and a greater space to, because there are parts in meditation that allow you to adjust in that field, because you can go out very awake, but at the same time to with too much energy. So the dancing at the end can close for the better feeling without the need to take drugs, right? So that the consciousness does help. You can be in a monastery chanting and just reading the Bible and just being with Christians to evangelize people. But no, go out there and one deal. This bishop was murdered in California. Yes, it's gonna happen to anyone who wants to help in this world, of course. So, of course, it needs percentage from the metaverse. I'm not like metaverse, the multiverse, and the fantasy storytelling for virtual reality is it needs to have a percentage that is my part, and from my part I take a part that has to be talked from my inner voice, the inner voice of the Lord. For that, love is intelligent to think that this world needs spirituality. This world needs to invest in our churches. If we don't have society that is raised with these morals, it's not morals, but I've seen I've seen many kinds of people in this world, and I'm not gonna say that people should change to Catholicism, but there is the older I grow, the older I get to see the difference. The older I get to see the difference from Catholics. So so I have my own private thoughts about it, but it's, I do believe Catholics have the the power to move into hell and resurrect those. They have the power of charity, but it is not to feed people. I'm not really into evangelize or change people. I am not a good follower of the church because I'm very picky with the priest's speech, and God is everywhere. So, and I am also lazy or have worked too much. Just get upset with working, and then I'm just putting my mind in all these things. Court cases, trials, files and files, and library, and work on things that nobody would take in, as many of us do. But I want to thank all the work the missionaries have done through, and I think we all need to go sometimes to a monastery or a spiritual retreat with Buddhist monks. If so, this is shared around the world as well to their own spiritual houses that it corresponds. Um, Also, meditations, if there is meditations of Osho, people that like to do Sufi meditations, people who like to do meditations from Zarathustra, the Gurdjieff dances are like meditations, really cool. It's really cool to do Chinese calligraphy as well. And I don't think people are into becoming a sadhu, but the pilgrimage is more or less the same. The thing is that a sadhu surrenders without a date of return. So it has achieved a void, not a goal, but a void, the great void. Some jobs require from you the spirituality. You will never be able to do certain jobs unless you have the capacity. There are jobs you cannot do just because of money, because you're gonna pay the bills, because you're gonna bring food, make your house, have your properties. Children can go to university sometime, construct schools. You need to have faith. You really need to trust there is something beyond you. You really need to listen to that which is the voice of something that could be a shared delusion, share stories that other people live. Make your stories around it. And at the same time, be part of a story with your own story. But remember that you could accelerate this process right now. So the base is writing. There will be a few who will be remembered. A few. So everyone is important with their dances. I think their beautiful architecture is going to emerge in the middles of the jungle, in the middles of places that anyone could have access to Wi-Fi. So that's what we can do until that has come to voice together. So there is a puzzling in. So you don't need to do this job here and then do this job there and then do job here. So you have all these points and you're gonna do these jobs at the same time in all of this. And you're following the same, because it's the same things are needed in the same worlds. And they will report what they need, they will report the spots, and they will learn to report without having to be taken out of their jobs or afraid of being killed because of a fight or because somebody wants your property, your intellectual property. They can take my husband if they want, but he is very handsome. It makes them happy. But one shouldn't be living like that, where it can have anything of your own. Yeah, yeah. One day you wake up with one, the other day you wake up with another one. Yes, I had a husband. Yeah, well, uh, now you have. I was not really married. I married to recover my children, so never really married. So we're just gonna be doing things just because. Yeah, uh, it is fine. You can love one day one person, another the others, whatever. It's just maybe old age that gets you to. My husband would say that. I mean, he had a car accident, but he was very wise. He still might be some part of the brain. still operational, and I've allowed some of that to play. So, well, it is healthy to trust that what you're saying, it has um, a voice that you can hear also when you are doing things, right? So if you have these tools to see this, and if you have these interests, so Christians, we pray to bring heaven on earth. May heaven be on earth. May, because it's not that we have to bring it; is already there. So the Lord allows it. So enlightenment is always there. In other religions, they would say it in that way, in that translation. Thing is that we can admire so much richness that this world has. So I asked Ukraine and Russia to stop this war. I asked Yemen. I asked all the countries in conflict. I asked Maduro to stop the hatred with the colony or supremacists or whatever it is that is. They are very likely to be hateful, of course. What now he calls the American imperialism. So when I enjoyed a lot in New York. There's nothing wrong with Americans, really. They just have this bloodthirst to make things their way, and that was the best way they learn. It was in their best. It was, but if they know better, they would know. They would do better, right? So the military can turn to play other roles to help build bridges, to help do mediations, to help bring police. Without order, without them, we wouldn't have. I am alive thanks to the police. That's why sometimes you might see some picture, because I want picture with the police because they saved my life. So I wanted them to know, because they're always working with problems every day of their life, and I want them to they forget about the victims that they have helped protect, because not only that, there are many people who could be harmed. So it makes me very happy to say thank you, to say it was not you, and it was not but in general, thank you for your work. Could I have a picture with you both? Normally they work in couples. So many times I have report to them things that I notice. So they represent the god Kratos, which is the might of the government, and that is the police and the military, and they have their important order to protect, justify something that comes from a higher core, which is in Greek mythology, Zeus is in the battlefield, but these entities that represent the Olympian warriors that are next to him in all his battles can also be mental. with words, with democracy, with your voice. So you know what is the problem, and you cannot you cannot bring more misery in this earth so you can gain more power. Yeah, we don't need to create more immigrants. We don't need to create more poverty. We don't need Venezuelans immigrating. I have traveled all my life and grew up in other countries. This now makes me look as an immigrant. So we have to come to terms of, look, all my ideas are being taken from you. That all my work has been taken by you. You think I'm gonna still keep my word like this? Like if what I am a bird inside of jail. Just singing ideas, right? I don't have any right. I don't have any right to my own work, my own family, and my own choice. So, who is going to unleash this demonic power? So it's seen as it is, because everything that is hidden is evil. When the program of the taxes can be seen by the people, you will automatically destroy corruption. Yeah. So that has not been done by prayers. That has been done by computer engineers and my idea and you. Without your power, it could never have been ruled. But the moment the people will see what is being spent on taxes every year and how much they do produce, because they will become more responsible. Say, we produce this. You won't be able to take so much money for weapons, even if you make magic money from the nowhere. Yeah, people have to pay back. This production has to generate energy so people can succeed and get to celebrate. Um, yeah, you might just enjoy the spiritual world. There's nothing left. Say thank you that you have food to just say thank you. So meanwhile, let's see whom we can consume. Yeah. Um, you consume yourself with others as well. So I'm very glad to have seen from the channel of the royal family that they had invited Meghan and Harry. I'm glad anything the king wants. And I know that we're all family to simply celebrate. So I would wish to be there inside the walls of the coronation and to be with someone to go Would be nice. So I think I have played an important role for United Kingdom and its allies and friends, even its enemies, who can reflect in their own ways, maintain some interests, attractions. So we can alleviate this pain from these doings. So I will find my way, one way or another, to that voice that I also want to listen from within, because I don't want to vibrate with the pain of what I see on the screen and the promotion of all this drama that is should come to a conclusion. So there are stories to tell. Whenever you're ready, I can give you the formula. This formula has a very beautiful it has very beautiful it has very beautiful format to play. So other people can discover other parts which are happening, and people will choose if they want to have glasses or they will just have their studio or a living room or a room to use with the screens around without having to put these glasses on. So there will be many inventions that won't be the glasses because it's not good for our eyes. But you will need this program. It is a program and there is a way. Then I would love to give it to so it's sharpen it, and I would love to give it to the people that I admire, and it's not for everyone. Some people need to mature. Many people are living on a childhood stage. You have to study therapy or be in the therapy realm to understand the many people are not mature. They're still living on a 3-year-old. There's a 3-year-old. And they just have everything that mommy and daddy want. They have uh, they are I can bring the Vapat to explain it to you. There are people who are still living on a stage of 7-year-olds. On this requires because they can have more mental illness. Yeah, it's not that people are mentally ill; they're just on their stage of to have evolved through the senses, through relating, through understanding, through seeing their capabilities that they can do other things. But for that, we need to create other spaces to do other things, not just being doing the same job all your life, and for the high class to come sometimes down and work with people, just a little bit, just so they learn from you, and you can multiply that, because that is a problem. If the high class is too exclusive, they become uh, they might seem to know a lot, but they become like stupid. Let's put it like that, because there are many people who are blocking them from the reality that they were born to be and raised to do, because they have all these piranhas wanting to take for self, I will call it self-degradation, but is self interest. I mean, I don't mean functional works, but the people that have to think around, so they just do it for self-interest, but they're not seeing beyond their noses as well, in the behalf of the capabilities they could have if they can expand the territory, because not everyone is going to be an explorer, a scientist, go to as a hippie to do meditation in another part of the world, or just in a real form. If we have to work more to do this, which is related to the human core that seeks spiritual height, because there comes a time where the material world doesn't really satisfy you, as long as you're seeing people happy, because you're starting to, of course, you love the material world and the creations of humankind and the creations you can do with little things that are nothing in particular, but just that. So I don't want to give anything for free. I do give things for free because people deserve the power to do it. I don't have the power, so people deserve the power to generate this. So within the voice of the king that has the voice of a kingdom, or within the voice of a Christian that feels for the voice of heaven, the return to paradise. So I really wish it's a beautiful ceremony for the coronation. I believe in past lives. And he's a good king. People are not just born to be king. They are chosen to be king before they're born in the spiritual realm. And it doesn't mean that they have supernatural powers, or but they do have a communion between the people and God. And if we don't believe in these things, then we're not going anywhere. If we don't believe there is an order to things, if we don't have respect to those who give us, and the respect when we give, then it's the same happening to the countries who lack that honor, They don't have it. They have murdered it. They have killed it. They have killed it. Not fully. Yeah. I mean, now I understand here. Okay, they don't nod, but you nod to the king. You don't nod to the Lord when you enter church. Yeah, which is very beautiful to know when you enter church. Well, everything is a constant celebration to honor this nature we're involved with. I would love to see the ladies doing silly things that are not important or constructive, like making gardens and beauty, making silly things like just dancing, feeling the beauty of things. I miss my mother, so, and my three children, my family. I don't know, I'm not very good with the chat, but if it's for practical things, I have paranoia with hackers. I don't like, I love my privacy. I study for being a scriptwriter and hoping to bring to a higher stage in internet, and that's pretty it. I never wanted to be an actor. I have done symposiums and I can put up there, and I can put myself out there if it's needed. It's part of everyone to have their play in the world. I just really, really love my privacy. To I am paranoid to chat or to write or everything that I do or email. So that's why I want to go to Venezuela as soon as I have my money for my trial, unless somebody has come to make this deal and make the best out of it, because he's very brutish. So I will just say with simple words how it works in a board and with a computer, and then you will see and understand. So, of course, it's not just a matter of heart, but that the cookies and the cake is solved. So, so my percentage can be voiced before being written. So part of my percentage goes to the spiritual world. Yeah. So my main character asks for it. All my ancestors who have, I don't know about other people, so I can only talk about me. Mm, my mother and father, the sisters and brothers, my family, my ancestors, and everything that I believe that is important, and it also has much value. It's not just the percentage for those who have put their part in the world and their companies. So we can get to understand what is the script about. Yeah. and you will believe I have written it with one character, with so much scientists and engineers. After they have talked so much, they will believe God exists. How beautiful it is, because then we come to appreciate everything that we have. We cannot be stopping what is already existing, which is beautiful. In the voice of silence, there are no worries there. When I step in this morning to stand up, there is my family to maintain with my work. So, as any person that works, so I feel it's very hard that I have invested all this and I'm still not seeing my work rolling as it should. Even Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates would feel very proud to have invested in Meta and to understand there is a multiverse in the fantasy world as well. Yeah, which is very different from what they try to do, which can also be part, but it's not theirs, right? I think Gates knows when he's waiting for this place to happen before I could come to existence with the next part of the. So you have to be inside, not only getting to know other skills, but you will have to become myself, do everything I have done through 49 years. You have done other things to discover this. You have created it. I have created it. It was one idea that I had, but it was thanks to everyone's role play and all the ideas that we had as well. So I appreciate for that moment, and I don't know what Bill Gates thinks. I presume I have thought, if I'm so smart, I will make it so I get to him again. So he pays attention because that's what I thought, or many thoughts, which I rather stay in silence and seeing the work happen and be understood for what really matters, that is what it is. All the rest is noise for me. And I keep listening. And I don't want to deplore anyone's problems. I'm not here to pork anyone. Uh, they have their own responsibility to do it. That's why people get involved with what they get involved. I do care for the people to have their best environment for the king and the princess, the blue bloods, to have a level of opening towards what is the best from all of us in this realm among realms. So it is like a magnetic field as well. So it's in the Nordic gods, this hole that is called I I hear I hears hole. I hears hole. Is Nordic mythology and might come from other mythologies as well. So it might come from the German Eichen, that means own. In mathematics, Eichen in English means mathematics and English. In English, of mathematics and physics is proper characteristic that can be combined form from frequencies, functions, values, and vectors. So it's very interesting to do this research and try to think where these words come from and this meaning. So that's a whole in Greek mythology that is giving to some gods, symbol of prosperity as well. So these gods meet there in there are different mythologies, different stories. In some is what is beyond the rainbow. The rainbow, there is the pot with gold coins, but there is also there is under the sea or subterranean, and there is like there's not a god, but is like a guardian there. That I hear whole, but the gods meet there, and it's like the promised land or whole. In the Nordic gods, the husband of Idun, which is the god of poetry, and he has a very sweet voice. So, because he's the one who can welcome all the gods, like as ambassadors do. Yeah, the quality. Loki wanted to be the holder of the door to welcome all the gods, because it's like being the owner of the god, but you're kind of like the receptionist. But the receptionist is already being the voice of the boss and the entity. In China, the receptionist of the person which is working in the chi of the dragon, which is the mouth of the dragon, and the entrance of the company, the entrance, the hall, the lobby, and the receptionist has to bring such a good impression as if they are with the boss, because he's representing the business, so they return. Right? They will put the best person, for example, to work with in the door, as I used in McDonald's. I work in the door, welcoming everyone, wishing them a good day, 100 to 300 an hour. So, or just nobody, just letting them do their own and doing other things around, cleaning the table, just listening to the hall itself. Because when it's reached that level where everyone has, I'm just adjusting here and there until it's perfect. There's a certain quality in there. So I would stand with a mop as if I have a big trident, as if I'm a king or an emperor there. Just stand like that. I didn't cut this. I had cut this some other times, so I had a thick braid. And just because I felt like I was the owner, but I was just in the front, welcoming everyone. I said, Patricia, please, could you do that? You have such a beautiful smile and attend to people. Because people, not everyone has the love for people that you want to serve. Yeah, we're all serving constantly. It was very beautiful when the Queen signet, she signed, "Your servant, the Queen Elizabeth." So beautiful. I really can't wait to see the coronation, because I was not alive with the coronation of the Queen and with the coronation of the King of Spain. It happened very fast. I was in Canada, but I was crying non-stop when he gave his speech. To sing it in internet. So I would love to work like that a lot and get back to just be a good companion in this existence. So, well, oh, go on talking and talking and talking until it gets so tiring. It's not the best way to do marketing, but I guess one gets dysfunctional after out of service after 2 years and 4 months trying to sell a product that can do so good, not just to yourself but humanity as well. All right, so just imagine how beautiful it can be. Super beautiful. Wow. Just to listen to people studying and talking about it, that would be a climax of, of, of the chemistry that's been reunited from all this genius. Well, like, even if they oppose to certain, I do like Dr. Granze, even though he has different ideas because he belongs to the school and he won't like to lose his title, but there might be certain people who have been chosen for this that is not within my power, but it is within the power of those who or the power of the person that's putting this together to make it raw as well, so they can not just create through it, but help prevent. I don't know the statistics, but I have seen people get stuck in character. Yeah. Some people can confuse, this is a story, this is not reality. Yes, this is a story, I'm not like this. Like in my real life, very simple. Yeah. Or very private. I will never let you know. It's not a big deal. It's none of your business. So enjoy your life, what you do, and if you want to, you go to a professional for that. Harry is doing an incredible job talking about mental illness in the public domain. People don't understand that they can do that as well with their own and do therapy, which is beautiful. But it's not about analyzing others and judging others. So there is a continuum here where people can eventually get to the things in real life with faster, yeah, I'm doing this, that, showing this, celebrating this, that, and celebrating all this online. They're doing in real life, and real life is respected as real life, and in virtual reality is respected as virtual reality. Yeah, for certain things you might need innate virtual reality, but you as you are is good enough. There there's so much, but anyways, right now um is it is what it is. That's it. So bye.